All right, so we are officially live. This is Christian with Real Estate Investing Made Easy. Obviously here now joined with the Brad Garcia, and I say the Brad Garcia because this is always a pleasure to have this man with me here live. And we're really excited to get into questions, not just the questions that have come in over the last week and some beyond that, and also the questions that we're going to be getting live. I have a couple people that were excited about asking some questions. I deferred them to this Feedback Friday Live. So even if they don't show up, I know those questions that they had, and I'm going to get into some of that stuff because it's really exciting. You're not going to want to miss this episode. So as we get started, Brad, how have you been, man? How's your week been? Transactionally, getting stuff done. I know you're crushing it.
Yeah, man, we've got 5 under contract this week. And yeah, just been grinding, hate to use the buzzword, but we have been just hitting the grindstone, so it's been good. Physically, I'm like, haven't been to the gym in 2 weeks. I've been sick, like really sick. This is the first day where it doesn't feel like there are razor blades and rocks in my throat. So that's awesome. So just took till Friday, no big deal.
Well, you know what? If everybody
guys,
looked as good as you do being sick, then nobody would ever be able to tell anyone.
Oh, geez. Yeah,
just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
I look like garbage. I appreciate the kind words. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Well, thank you, sir. Well, I'm just going to be streaming this up here on this TV too as we look at this live stream and start answering questions. But if there's anything before we get started with all the questions, go ahead and share. You said 5 transactions, and now a lot of people who are just getting started in real estate investing, they listen to that and they say, wow, I cannot wait until some obscure future moment that I get to a point where I have 5 transactions that I got just last week locked up. So explain a little bit about what the system is that you're following and why it's really not that big of a deal, other than the fact that you've been a little bit under the weather, because that's what we do. We share our systems. We want to be able to provide that information to others. So speak to that a little.
Sure. So you just want to know what we're doing to get those? Is that kind of what you want me to tell the viewership?
No. Whatever your heart desires.
See, I misunderstood that.
These questions will come in and we'll be asking, because when I first got started in real estate, I didn't know anything, a complete blank slate. I was already doing real estate as a loan officer, but I didn't know the investing side. I didn't really know the listing side. So even then, I guess I can't say that I knew a whole lot. I guess I still don't, but I know enough to have a show.
Me too. All right. Right there with you.
Right.
Literally and physically.
Yes.
Figuratively. So I guess, I think it would be encouraging for them being you guys, the audience, to understand they didn't, there was a lot of consistent action that took place. 3 of them. Well, let me just start at the top. So there's a property in Jacksonville. Well, I'll give you the breakdown. So the breakdown of them is there was 2 of which came from my privy process. So Privy on Markets probably sent out about out of those 2, there was probably a total of 60 to 70 offers that were sent out. So I got 2 out of those. One I got right off the bat, and that was from a campaign I pushed out 2 or 3 days ago. The other one, the one in Jacksonville, well, these are both in Jacksonville, but this first one I wanted to talk about went under contract once while I was, so I contacted them, sent out the offer. I was talking with the agent. She already got our terms. We kind of went back and forth on price a little bit, and it told me there was 2 other offers they're considering, but she liked me, so she wanted the seller to go with me because she trusted me. This is the first time I've ever talked to this person, and just goes to show you that when you sound like you know what you're talking about. I think Pace Morey says with godlike confidence in what you're saying on the phone, and just build a rapport that's acting like a normal human being, not mean, it would, I don't, if you get on there and you act like you don't know what you're talking about, and like you don't do this every day, then they're going to be like, I don't know, this guy doesn't sound legit. But if you do, then they're right out of the gate. You build ultimate or instant rapport and trust. And so the seller ultimately ended up going with another offer. They backed out, and it was through my constant and consistent follow up of probably about 3 weeks that I ended up going under contract with her. So, and let's see what else. So I ended up getting one pretty easily out of a campaign I sent out a couple days ago. The two there's two, the other two, so we're at 4 out of 5 now. Those were launch control leads, same seller. And so again, just, conversation with the seller, and in her trusting that we are legitimate buyers and that we're going to move forward with our deal, she actually ended up giving me another property on the same street. She said, you know what, if we're going to be doing this one, we might as well do this other one. And they ended up being really good deals. So we'll be closing on those here in a couple weeks. What else here?
Dude, hold on.
Okay.
It's worthy to underscore the points that you're making right now. And, for a lot of people who are just getting started, it's critical to know this, but also for people who are doing this at a high level and they've been doing it for a long time, but they maybe forgot. This will be a little refresher, okay? Because it's about consistent action. It's not just consistent action, though. I'll add to that. It is also doing the right kind of consistent action. Chris, our business partner, talks about rocking chair motion, which I've always loved. So I ripped off his words.
I love that one too. Yeah,
because you can continue to do motion, but you're going nowhere. So it's about taking the right action. And you mentioned some of those right actions that are actually working, how you got the deals. Okay, so we got the deals through an on-market process, which we have a playlist about it, and I'll link it in the description, where we just discuss what we do. There's some tools involved in that you could either recreate if you want to, it's totally fine, or you could just follow along and then click a button to get them. And then there's the launch control. Now, that's text message marketing. I think a lot of people know that, but it's about using those right systems, the consistent action. All of these things we have a lot of training on because it's what we found works for us. So we continue to speak about it and then answer questions about it, which we'll get into today as well. And then, of course, confidence. Now, confidence is, when you say act like you know what you're doing, I would build on that and say, because you do know what you're doing. And that therein lies the rub. Educate yourself, continue to pour, and continue to stay in touch with people who either can be mentors, coaches, trainers. Watch YouTube content because it's free. There's a lot of people out there other than us that we also pour into, we collaborate with, and we also watch. Part of when I first got started, it wasn't as big to go onto YouTube and look at this stuff, but now I'm just blown away by the amount of content. And of course, by that, I do mean subscribe to the channel and ask questions, and then we'll continue to engage with you. A lot of the content that we develop and we speak to is dictated by your feedback, your interests, what it is that you want to learn as the person on the other side of the computer watching this, so that we can just build a personal connection with you, get to know who you are in your business, and then guide you along. So I know a lot of that kind of information has been available behind paywalls before, where they charge for, consulting services or coaching and or training programs. So we don't really have, that stuff that we want to sell. We try to give most of that stuff away completely for free. So that's why we have like affiliate links and stuff, because it helps us do this and do it for free. It's just what we're already using and it's working, as opposed to some people who, I'm not going to mention any names, of course. I'm throwing no one under the bus here, but myself, if it's for a good joke. So we'll continue to provide that information. And then, of course, you said follow up. Follow up is key. We've gotten deals closed because we texted them And then 2 years later, we got the deal closed with them because they finally responded. And actually, we have a recent case study that we made $35,000 because, a year plus later, it's posted on YouTube right now. You can check it out. 35K in 35 minutes. I do say with integrity, it was 35 minutes because it was all automated follow-ups. So we didn't actually have to touch anything. But when they did reach out to us, it was within 35 minutes after getting under a contract that Chris, our business partner, was like, he got the deal sold because it was wholesaled immediately within 35 minutes of the contract. So the point is, the fortune is in the follow-up. That's 35K that we wouldn't have had otherwise in our business.
Yeah.
And some deals come quick. Some deals come quick and they're only 10K or 15K. We have a deal that was $220,000. It's actually over $220,000. We did a case study about it again. And that was ultimately 2 texts we had to manually send out. And it was quick at that point. We had no idea it was going to be 220 when we were having a conversation. We would have been fine with 10 or 15 or, because that's what we're going for. Those are the more common ones. In San Diego, the market is 35. But you had mentioned that it's just so critical for the reminders to those who are seasoned and also for those who are beginning to not stop when you're building momentum. So all that said, you need, in one word, that momentum. In all of these things, momentum. And continuing.
Yeah, and to add to the point of consistent action and the right action, in follow-up being one of those actions. The 3 of the contracts that we have right now for this week I had gotten over the weekend. So if I were to just check out and be like, it's the weekend. Obviously I want to hang out with my family and spend that time. But, I also felt like crap. I was like bedridden for a couple of those days. So, if I would have, succumbed to my feeling of like, I don't want to do it. It's the weekend. I don't feel great. I'll just talk to these guys later. Then those wouldn't have come through. So there's somebody, I forget who it is, but this person was talking about, men specifically, but this is really for anybody, is that you need to, if you only did things when you felt like them, you won't be successful. So like consistency is, not acting on your feelings. It's doing things when you don't feel like it, because I don't always feel like getting up in the morning or going to the gym or, getting on phone calls with agents or so. I don't feel like it every day, but I know that I'm investing behavioral deposits every day into the bank that will have a return later on. So,
yeah, and that's really boil it down to discipline is what that is.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And the good news is discipline can be taught.
Yeah, if you're going to be your own boss, you're not going to have anybody there saying, hey, your break's 30 minutes. What are you doing? You need to get back to work. You need to get on the phone. Or, hey, you need to do this thing. Nobody is going to be pushing you. You don't have a manager. You are the boss. So you have to know that you're going to have to take initiative. Luckily for us, we have the personality of having we are initiative driven, goal driven. And so I work better when it's not an hourly wage, when I know the harder I work, the higher the goal is going to be. I'm not getting paid necessarily like per hour, so to speak, in the interim, but I know that big payday is coming. So I have no problem putting in the work. But you just got to know that. That's the expectations. It's going to be hard sometimes. You have to have discipline. Anything else to that before I get to the next deal?
Well, here's the deal. Actually, we have a question on a case study from one of the deals that you spoke to.
Oh, okay.
That I really wanted to get to as well. So as far as that deal goes, I will bookend that discipline portion here. And that is just to say that when it comes to discipline, it's about like adult learning when it comes to gamification and just giving yourself the ability to be okay with taking breaks as well. But the G word you used before, the grind, right? That
Ooh.
serves some people, but it's not sustainable. There's burnout that's
Mhm.
involved. So if
Oh yeah.
you need to set the right expectations for yourself and to really understand what success looks like. Sometimes success doesn't look like 5 contracts last week. Sometimes it literally looks like I took these proper actions that I know are going to pay off in 6 months,
Oh yeah.
right? To not think that
1000%.
one text or one phone call is going to result in a deal. And it can. I will not say that it cannot, because one letter
It's not the norm.
was my first deal, and it was a flip.
Yeah.
And it was years and years and years ago, and it was a code violation list, and I sent that letter out just like I did with another group of 199 other letters, and I was licking and sticking, as they say. Just I don't know why I did this, but I signed my personal pen every single time. I could have just printed it out in a, kind of like an image of my signature, but I signed it. And the call that we got because of not just the signature, but they really, really desired to sell. They were in pre-foreclosure. They had code violations out the wazoo,
Mhm.
whatever the wazoo is. Somebody define that for me. Put it in the comments below. But I use that word just to say it was a cavalcade of, this is a motivated seller. So it
Right.
worked.
But
It
that's
was
not the
one
norm,
letter.
right? That's not the norm, guys. So
Right.
don't expect that. You gotta put in the work.
Right on. So let me get to that question for.
Yeah, what do we got?
So the question that we have is related to your deal. And it was the SMS marketing wholesale real estate case study, the $10,000 one. And I'm just going to share my screen so that everybody can see
Mhm.
this as well. And as you can see right here, you got this gentleman right here, and it says sold by Ty. Let me just get his name.
All right. Cool.
Okay, sold by Ty. So what he was asking is, first saying thanks, it's super helpful. Is your team looking for new members? I'm a realtor in SoCal that service in Inland OC and LA, getting started with launch control soon. Maybe we could do deals together. I love that question. And I know that you have an answer.
I do have an answer. And sold by Ty, we are always looking for hungry agents who know the game, get the game, So we're number one looking for agents we can partner with, boots on the ground, who can bring us deals, who can walk deals for us, who can bring us buyers, for assignments, the whole thing. We're looking for those types of relationships, and so if you're an investor friendly agent, we'll call it a unicorn agent. We'd love to work with you. There are a lot of agents. I think we were just talking about this or me and Chris were talking about this last night, actually, about finding buyers through Privy, through the agents that had transacted the deals on those. And I said it's a great way to do it. But I was talking to our dispo manager, Luis, who is going to be having these conversations. We actually just closed on one in Cleveland, and I had found a buyer through an agent who had done a flip right around the corner. And, I just said, like, look, I've had a lot of conversations with agents who don't get it. They're very transactional minded. Like, how am I getting paid on the front end? Do I get a commission? I'm not going to be, blah, 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 blah. Like at this point, I've already locked a deal up. So I'm giving the buy side to the listing agent. So right now what I'm doing is giving you the ability to bring a, deal on a silver platter to your buyer who you obviously have a relationship with already. And if you're bringing the deal with them and you've already listed properties for them in the past, why wouldn't they then relist with you at a higher price? So we're just looking for, so I was like, don't bother even talking to agents who don't get it, because we're not trying to convert them. We're just trying to find the ones that already know the game. So Ty, if that's you, let's connect. Alternatively, you asked if we could do deals together. Absolutely. We're looking to do deals. I mean, with anybody, if it makes sense. And I don't know where we're at with it. Christian, you can probably put some clarity around this, but we should have a JV web form.
We do.
Set up. Okay, perfect. Perfect.
We do. Yeah, we'll link it in the description below for not just Ty, but for anyone else who's watching this thinking either A, I'm just getting started, or B, I'm crushing it and I have too much. So
Yeah.
we're actually partnering with several investors across the country in the current markets. We're doing deals, but also newer ones to us to dispo deals and just help with that, but also helping with transaction coordination, helping with closing the deals. So by closing the
Yeah.
deals, mostly that's Chris, because Chris closes your deal, who is at a doctor's appointment with his newborn little baby. I guess by now she's not newborn, but he is not able to be on today, which is totally fine. We have the pleasure of having, looks like Nathan Robertson with us too. He just asked a question, by the way. That's my brother. What is launch control and how do you use it? Very, very broad question, but nonetheless, a very good question. You want to take that one?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. He's basically asking, what's the wheel? How do I use it?
Right.
No, I mean, it's such a broad question. It's a great tee up to, but I'll just bottom line it because for brevity's sake, Launch Control is an SMS texting marketing platform that is a prospecting tool to find leads. So the way that you would use that is to create campaigns based on the data that you've pulled for sellers to then send out texts. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, I'm trying to bottom line it, but yeah, that's the prospecting tool that we use. It's texting. It's and I don't want to get too high level, but would you have anything to add to that, Christian?
Yeah, there's a bunch to add to that. We did a lot of reviews on launch control itself, and this is after having tried a lot of other platforms and some that were cheaper. And those ones that were cheaper, you paid per text that you had to send out. So at the end of the day, it got more expensive. And hey, that's fine. If you're not doing 50,000 in any market that you're in texts per month, then maybe you're going to save some money going with Smarter Contact, which is the only other one that I'd recommend in besides launch control. Both of those I'll link in the description below. Again, that's, they're affiliate links. If you use them, you're supporting the channel, and we appreciate that always. But it's the playlist that we have will share every single thing that you need to know about not just launch control, but no matter what you use for text message marketing, exactly how to do it, how to set yourself up for success. If you're using launch control or some of these other platforms, we also give assistance in setting up everything because it takes a long time. It's funny because we just actually got one last month. At the end of the month, we did a special. The special was, normally this is like a $97 price point, where we do just a full suite back end build out of everyone's system. And that's included with launch control, but we discounted it for the end of last March to $397, and we got a flood of people who bought that $397 setup. It's more of a service than a product. But when I was on the meeting, because we get a consultation call with that, it's just like, how can we help you in your business from where you are to where you want to go, wherever that is. And he said, man, this is one of the best decisions that I've made. I'll post it in our testimonial playlist, because we have a playlist.
Was that with Zainab?
No, that wasn't Zainab.
Oh, okay.
Somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah. And
gotcha. Okay.
And I was just like, man, can you repeat that again? Because that's one of the reasons why we do it. Obviously we have those services and products so we can continue to not have a paywall of 50,000 plus bucks, so that it makes sense for us to take our time away from investing in real estate, which is our bread and butter, to talk about this stuff that we're doing. So we have these like smaller price point stuff, but it's not, like a push to a thing that anybody should do unless you're confident moving forward. And that's actually something that I was talking to Nathan about before. And he's like, okay, cool. So it looks like launch control is good. I want more information about it. He's like, so should I just, save up the money for 1 month and then go for it? And I said, no, it's about consistency. You need a budget for 3 months of activity, because like when we opened this live, we talked about what it really takes to be successful. And, that's the discipline. And the bottom line was momentum, right? Everything, consistency and action, taking the right action. and all of those that we've already underscored. So if you missed it, just rewind it to the beginning where Brad expounds on exactly that. That's what I'd say about launch control. It's a good platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's an implication too there. When I get on, the calls that are scheduled on the Calendly, sometimes they come. A lot of the times they are coming from either these lives or just other pre-recorded videos we've done. And with the newer investors, not so much with the older ones that have done other types of marketing and they've been in the game, have done deals, but the ones that are just getting started. If you're just getting started, this piece is really for you. But there's a misunderstanding or just lack of understanding of the process that it takes to do any type of marketing really for real estate investing. Specifically, we're talking about launch control in this case. And so launch control is the third step in the marketing process. Your first step is pulling data. We use Property Radar. You can use PropWire or PropStream, and Christian's done review videos on those. You can go check those out. From data, then you're going to be putting that data and getting it skip traced. We use Best Skip Tracer. We're going to link all these below. I think, Christian, you've probably done some videos on Best Skip Tracer as well, some reviews. So from there, the skip tracing, what that's going to do is pull out the contact information from your homeowner record and property address data. Then you get contact info from Best Skip Tracer. And now you plug that into launch control. That's the third step. Okay, so then from launch control, you're pulling out the leads, right? It's like gold mining. You're using your tools, your gold pan, your sluice, everything to pull out the gold nuggets. Those gold nuggets are your leads that you should be dropping into a CRM to silo your prospects, your thousands and thousands, tens of thousands could be of prospects, so that you're not losing your leads in that. You're dropping them in and you're siloing them into a lead management CRM that will then take them across the finish line. We use Forefront. I've done multiple training series on that. If you wanted to, look at that, it's on the channel as well. But that's the process. So for any of you newer guys out there, that's what the marketing process looks like. Some of the offerings that we have actually are, in addition to our Done For You, which we do all of that for you. We just hand you motivated sellers. There is a much lower financial burden with the build out offerings where we say, okay, great, you're newer, you want to do it yourself. We'll clone our systems for you, give you the tools. So instead of doing the gold mining for you and handing you the gold nuggets, we'll hand you the pickaxe, the pan, and the sluice and say, we've already built these tools out for you. You can use them. And then you go and do the gold mining yourself. You find the nuggets.
I wonder how many people this was the first time they had heard the word sluice. Just saying, man.
Well,
I mean, that's a cool analogy, but I wouldn't have known a sluice. But hey, we get this question all the time. What should I use? What tools and systems? What you use, as long as you use it, is as long as it's working for you, what you should use. We'll talk about things that work for us, but at the end of the day,
that's a good point.
If you're taking action and you have a CRM, you need a CRM. Hey, even if you're starting out with Google Sheets, you have to track your leads. You have to track the stages of those conversations and actually follow up. Obviously, there's CRMs out there that can do that, where it's going to automate a lot of that process. Using technology is definitely something we're huge proponents of. But, when we talk about launch control or Forefront CRM or any of the other tools that we use, heck, you could even skip trace yourself by using People Search, right? But it's about time versus money. So the reason he brings all that stuff up is simply just to say, like, if you're not taking action because of either time or money, there's options for you. And, we'll continue to take your questions about any part of all of that process. But I just wanted to share, it's about what you use and that you use it, not so much, whatever we recommend. Of course, we're going to stand by what we recommend, but we would rather just have people say, hey, I'm using this X, Y, and Z we've never heard of. But my question is about real estate investing. What is, the process for if a seller says there's multiple people on title, but there is no agreement? How do you navigate that? These in-depth real estate questions, and even the really surface level ones, we don't care what you're using as long as you're using it, as long as you're doing it. We'll answer those questions and we'll share with you what our journey's been so that you can level up your game. That's what this is all about, to make it easy. Anything you want to say to that, buddy?
No, that's a great bow. Love it. Put a bow on it. What I was going to go back to, because people like to hear about deals, I guess we could go back to the
You're
deals that
funny.
you
I
want.
guess everybody wants to hear about deals, bro.
I know.
Let's get it because not just because you're bragging, right? It's because it has nothing to do with that.
Oh,
You could even
yeah,
be void of the dollar amount. The point is, how did you do it so that you can do it? So that anyone watching this video can do it. Because I've been in the workshops, I've listened to the gurus, I've worked with the gurus, and a lot of them, they don't give you all the actionable information that you need. They give you the theory, the guru smoke show theory, and they get you excited. But really, the only thing that you have taken action on is swiping your credit card, and then they don't actually teach you how to do it.
right. Yeah, they sell you on the dream, and I love the analogy of like the theory of economics versus like ROP accounting. If you want to be an accountant, right? You want to be a real estate investor, you're not going to go to the theory of economics. You want to know how to do this specific, it's a specified specialty skill, in training. And so like theory of economics is great, but if you're trying to make money now, you'd rather get the ROP accounting so you can just go be an accountant and learn exactly how to do it. That's kind of what our channel is about. So
That's right.
So
do that deal, and then we got one more thing to end with about affiliate marketing, because we had a question that was asked about affiliate marketing, and I want to speak to that.
Okay, gotcha. Well, do you want to talk about the Kyle Rogers stuff right now, or
not Kyle Rogers stuff, brother? Something else.
Okay.
As a real estate investor. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we went over all the other deals. I think. I mean, if you guys want to kind of see the process, I've done. Okay, so the privy deals, guys, I have gone into depth on how to find those, how to use the tools we have. That's where I've gotten 2 out of the 5 this week. Was from privy, doing exactly how I show you. Okay, so I've already kind of gone through that, so I don't want to belabor the privy stuff. It's great, but we've put so much time, effort, and energy into creating those trainings. I'm not gonna redo these ones for that reason. So if you guys want to see how I found these two, literally, I show you in the pre-recorded stuff on the privy training. What I will go into is how we found the deals on Launch Control, and what the deals look like. So I'm going to share my screen,
list,
Christian.
Right? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you're not. You don't have
okay?
them. Yes, please share your screen. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome. Okay, so here is the lead that we got. Let me go back down here. So when you go into, let's see here. Okay, here we go. So this was Launch Control, Alabama. They asked, here's their asking price. So what our VAs are going to do is kind of bottom line the conversation they had, this lead, and then what they're going to do is also paste their conversation, okay, so that we can get context if we need to. So what they do from this point, after we've done the texting, right? This is the text conversation and Launch Control. What we then do is, if they meet our criteria, which this one definitely did, we look at the Zillow price and what their asking price was. Then we push it over to our lead manager. So the lead manager then takes the call, and we have a template for her to use. That gets all.
Put a pin in that for a sec, because the Zillow thing, really quickly, a lot of people say, well, the estimates and the values on Zillow are really not that great. While that still may be true in many, many areas, the algorithms with the advent of, more intelligent AI has actually improved a lot. So we give it a rough, right? It doesn't suffice for comps, but we'll still use it. And that's why we use it.
Right. Okay, great. Yeah. So yeah, just to clarify, it's really just a roundabout, right? And so if they're coming in, 40 grand under for a $80,000 house, like that's a good indication that we could that we can get a deal done or get close. So the just to kind of give you guys a pro tip too, the lead manager is going to ask a lot of the same questions that the texter does when they get on the phone with me after the lead manager pushes it over. If it meets further qualification, I'm going to be asking a lot of the same questions that they have already asked, and the reason is we want them to clarify on those points, and if there's any difference in their questions, we can kind of call that out. Like, so for instance, the text, she said 85, now the expectation of value is 95, so that's changed a little bit. And on my call we can kind of dig into that a little more. But this is where we get all the it's just a discovery call. We're just getting information that I can use to then leverage to close. And so let me open up the deal. Forefront's great, by the way, guys. This is what you guys are using. This is what you guys are looking at here. So we can link our Google. We have every single one of these properties has a Google folder that houses all of our deal analysis. So here's what the deal looks like. Okay, so purchase agreement here's 85,000. That's what we got under contract for because it was actually a good deal there. ARVs 250. Quite a bit of rehab, and a lot of times we are going to overshoot our rehab more so than the local guys, right? So the guys that we're going to be selling to in the area, their rehab costs we can pretty much bank on them being lower because they're going to be getting the work done themselves. But if it works at a higher rehab, then we can surely sell it for a good assignment. So we'll probably
it's called a contingency. You want to add in a contingency for some of the unknowns. We're talking about virtually wholesaling properties right now. We don't live in Birmingham, Alabama, but we're doing deals in Birmingham, Alabama because we know that that's a market that is a good one to go after for wholesales and some for rentals and stuff, as well as further up north of there in Rocket City. But that's an important point you bring up. We don't intentionally just say, let's just say it's going to cost $100,000. I feel like that would definitely be outside of integrity. What we do is we put a cushion in there to be sure because of the unknowns based off of the age of the property. I mean, this is a 1920 build. Dude, you realize a 1920 build, how many problems could go wrong with that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
and honestly, I mean, it's a big house. It is a big house. Looks like at that square footage, Matt underwrote at just over $30 a square foot. So in markets, like Birmingham, that could be a little high. Like I said, the labor is going to be lower for a local guy who's going to be doing it himself.
Right.
So
and
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
square foot in general is low. If we were analyzing a deal in San Diego, $30 a square foot, we wouldn't be able to even come close.
Yeah, maybe if we're trying to do like a rental, and like just low end finishes, but yeah, not for a flip. We're at least 50 a square foot. So the here's our net profit. That's after we factor all buying, holding, cash like cost of cash, all these costs, our selling costs, any obviously relist percentages, all of that's taken out. And at the end of the day, we know that we've got a net margin of about 15%. And typically depending, this is why it's really crucial that you guys have good relationships with your buyers and what these buyers want. Anywhere from like 10 to 18% is where buyers are looking to buy at, depending on the market, property value and all that. And so yeah, that was the one property. They had another one right down the street on the same street. So that's how this deal went. It was a pretty easy conversation. This one, we just, I don't want to say we got lucky because it was, again, consistency. We've, been doing this for a little bit. So we should be closing with a buyer in place at the beginning of mid-May.
Beautiful. Great breakdown, man, going through the numbers and the deal. I mean, this is the type of stuff that, when you're sharing your process, you can replicate it. You as somebody who maybe doesn't know, and even someone who's more seasoned that can just say, hey, I like that, or how do I get that spreadsheet, or how can you guys share a little bit more to model your process. You can integrate it with what you're already doing as well. And then at the end of it, talk about the dispo, because the disposition of it is critical. I mean, here's a snapshot of another one we have in Jacksonville, California, built in 1976. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath that were dispositioned. Like, it's on Facebook. Okay, so that's one way to do it. But there's a lot
in
of
those groups.
Right.
Yeah, Facebook groups with investors, agents who may have buyers, and obviously also Privy. I mean, Privy. Like I said, we went into. I keep saying it, but it was a. I mean, I'm kind of proud of it. I'm, like when we went on with Benson, and we were like, hey, we kind of want to do a case study of a property in a market that we don't have anything to do with. No, no buyers, no agents, no connections, no nothing, and find a deal and dispo it in a month. And it was almost to the day that West 114th closed from getting into that market on Privy. So found the deal, found a flip right down the road, contacted that agent who transacted that deal, found the buyer and contacted the buyer through her, transacted the deal through her, got it sold, and I think we made $7,500 on that one.
In a market, no knowledge, no nothing, just right
30
out of the
days.
gate, literally starting from the point that a lot of people who are stumbling across this channel and other channels like it, looking for the answer to how do I invest in real estate? Maybe they were told that you have to target on or off market properties. You don't. You could do, which you should do at some point, both. And Privy is a great example of that. What date was that? Because I think it's on their channel, right? It's on Privy's channel.
Well, I didn't go into Cleveland that day. It was a week or two after. I just but so whenever the date was, I don't know exactly, but I can tell you right now, we closed on West 114th last Friday.
Gotcha. We'll get the link to that and put it below.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I want to show you guys that that you can do that. I almost want to do the Privy thing just so you guys can see it.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest,
but I know you want to do some other stuff. So next time, guys.
Oh no,
stay tuned.
That's not what I was going to say. I think you should, because literally what you're going to do
you're going
to tell people how to find a deal in a market they've never been to, or they don't know anything about. And we're going to walk through the process of exactly how to get a deal done. And you literally, if you are watching this, out of the 12 people who are watching this right now, you could literally go online, go to Privy, linked in the description below. You can sign up for Privy, and obviously it'll help support the channel. So I will not fail to mention that. And then get a deal. And we're going to show you how to do it right now.
That is right, guys. Okay, so let me show you real quick what you're going to do. Let me pick I already have it built. Well, no, I'll go start to finish, and let's see here. So
is it going to be a market we don't already know?
Do you want it to be?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yes. Then we're going to do a case study on this, exactly like the market. Like, hey guys, call back to the 12th of August or whatever the date is. I don't know my dates.
April 14th.
I meant April, and I was thinking this. Yes, the 14th of April
was one of
the
the
day where you saw us do this, and then here's the deal that resulted, and we did it live, and it doesn't take long at all. Stick around for another 10 minutes.
Okay, you know what? Let me reset it, because I know that sometimes it wants me to. Okay, so we're not in Atlanta. Let's go to Atlanta. Okay, active, fix and flip. We'll do 60. I like 60%. Okay.
And by the way, as he's doing this, just so everybody knows, the why to Atlanta is we do already know that that's a decent market, but we have training
Correct.
in our Privy real estate investment software playlists that will show you why it's a good market, how to decide that it's a good market, and it has to do with investor activity that you can see just at a high level overview of the entire United States to find out what is a hot market for you to also participate in investing.
Check this one out. Look at that, guys. See, so okay, I'm doing it, the quick way. But what I would do is once I've built this search, I'm going to go into the list here. I might as well do it because we can do a case. I'll find a deal here. We'll close in 30 days, and then we can do another live when we close on it. So after I've done the search, I'm going to build the list. Save here, boom. Okay, so those all went into this list. So I did up to 59 days on market. Okay. And whoops, I did low 59. Shoot. I'm new, guys. Forgive me.
You're new. You're so funny.
Yeah, we had more. Yeah, I was expecting a little more. Okay. So let's do that. Let me go into my lists here. I'm going to remove all these, okay? Because those did not actually meet the criteria. Now I'm going to add them all there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the filter and I'm going to save the search as Atlanta. I bet you can guess what I'm going to say here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is create a new folder.
Now you don't have to do all of these things, but it's a very good idea to organize things this way because soon it can descend into chaos. So
I almost want to say you do. You have to.
Right. I mean, if you want to get deals and stay organized for sure, but
I would in the same way you don't have to make calls every day and you don't have to run your deals through a deal analyzer, but you should.
Right. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Your deals through an analyzer, but you probably should.
Exactly. So why it's important to create the folder is because you want to be able to save it in there, which will then allow you to have email notifications. And I set the interval for every day. Now I never have to run this search again. Okay. I don't have to go back in there. It's going to automatically add that to the one email I get with every property that meets all the criteria that I've ever searched for in any market that I've searched it. Everything comes on one email. And I can actually show you. Here we go. I was in it yesterday. They come in emails like this. Okay, so all of my markets for any of the searches I've done all come in one email. Okay, so now that I have built that out, what I want to do is I'm going to go into my lists here. We're going to go into Atlanta, and then I'm going to start from the top. Okay, and now I'm going to be looking for properties that I can do work to. Hey, look at this one. Think I can do some work to that?
Wow.
There's some value add opportunity there.
Hey, there's a deal, man. 2981 grand. Hopefully we make more than 2,981.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is call it a soft vet. So what I'm going to say is, all right, what discount do I need on a $120,000 list price to be able to assign it if I do get it at the price that I offer to be able to wholesale it? And so I would say on $120,000, if you're let's aim for $5,000. Let's just say $5,000. Okay, we'll be easy. Okay, so we'll go back here. We'll say, oops, wrong one. Sorry, I'm doing the wrong one here. Okay, I'm gonna say it's listed for 120. Okay, I want it at $100,000. My buyers buy at 65% of ARV. So I need what's going on here? 120, 65%. Okay, got it. All right. So my comps There's something wrong with this. What happened here? Let's do this. Let me do
Did
this.
you break it?
It's broken. I don't know what happened. Sorry, guys. Let's do it another way. So basically what should be happening is this should be coming up of 65% of this. That's why I'm confused why it's not.
Right. I would just Command Z until it's fixed, because you work in this every single day, and it may have been just a keystroke.
Whoa.
Yes. Made.
I don't know why it's going over here. Okay. Well, I do want to highlight this. Okay. So let's just say, let me just do this. I'll say 100. Okay. And we won't do that. Okay. There we go. So something was going on. Oh, I know what I was doing. I'm a dummy. Okay. 120. I put 100 here, not 20. I want a $20,000 discount. There we go. Okay. Brad's a little foggy this morning. So now what I'm going to do is, for every single one of these properties that I'm going down the list on, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say I want a $20,000 discount on $120,000 list price, which means my offer is going to be 100, of course, which means I need to at least see properties with a ARV of, let's call it 155.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to, I love looking at the investor. You got to be careful, because you want them to be read. You want them to be sold. Okay, so we have a 3-1. It's 1,176 square feet. Okay, so these two are close. They have a second bathroom though. So I know when you go up to a second bathroom from a 3-1 to a 3-2, that value is going to jump quite a bit. People like more than one bathroom. Let's see if we can find a 3-1.
It's pretty easy
This
to put in
sold.
another bathroom though, depending on the foundation. So,
Okay,
you
yeah.
know,
So that's something to think about, but it doesn't even really look like it matters, because we've got a 3-1 here that sold 4 months ago. So it's a little outside, but it's kind of congruent with the prices we have here. So about 265. That's our ARV. Okay, so is that higher than 153? Absolutely, looks like it. So what we're going to do is, okay, come on, there we go. We're going to go to the notes, and we're going to say 100K offer. And we're going to say 265 ARV. Okay. And we're going to go into a list. We're going to take it out of Atlanta. We're going to put it in the comp folder, because I actually want to do a more in-depth analysis of this property than we just did. So I want to do that later. But I need to get through 157 properties, soft comping them first, which means I'm going to just go on here real quick, and I'm going to say, all right, this one has one property, looks like Airbnb, Okay, I don't know anything about it. So can I make an offer on it? No. So I'm going to just fail it, move on. Okay, and then I'm going to go into the next one. Okay, that looks great. I can almost guarantee there's nothing to do here. Okay, stainless steel appliances, I already know, like, okay, great. Well, okay, so this is how quickly you should be going through these properties. That quick, just boom, 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 boom. Is there anything for me to do there? No. Does it meet the comping criteria? No. Okay, fail. If it does, great, comp it later, because we're only going to have a small percentage of these that actually meet that criteria. Okay, so as you're going through these, what I love doing is I love seeing, okay, was this a flip? This looks really good. Okay, we got marble countertops, really nice finishes, hardware, like, this lighting package. Okay, great. So here's how you're going to find buyers while you're simultaneously finding deals.
yeah, that was a question from Nathan as well. He said, how do you find buyers in an area that you don't live or you don't know about? So this is an answer to that question.
That's right. Yeah, you're going to be doing it simultaneously. Okay, so at the same time you're looking for deals, right, and failing those that don't make sense for a deal, you're also looking for properties like this where they are obviously a flip, or have had work done to them. So I was hoping that we could have found an LLC on this one. Doesn't look like that. So this could have been an owner who just did their own work. This is a huge house with such high finishes. I can't imagine that this person just did this to their own house. So regardless, doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new list. I have one for every market we're in. I'm going to say buyers to contact Atlanta. So now what I'm going to do is when I have a sec. Oh, you know what? I can go. Oh, it's not there anymore.
You
Okay.
can also take the address and search the tax records and all that stuff as well. So, I mean, there's other ways to
You
do it. But if it's
can.
sticking inside of Privy, this is the quick way to do it.
This is the quick way to do it. This is the way that I just made $7,500 in 1 month on one property. I found the property address on Google, went to the agent here listed by, okay, this one, for whatever reason, she doesn't have her information. So all I'm going to do is search her. Okay. And
Agents will always have their phone number somewhere. That's how they're doing business.
somewhere. Yeah, yep. Oh, you know what? Here's a pro tip, guys. Here is a pro tip. I'm telling you, when I searched, I knew it was on here. Okay. Compass almost always has, and of course, this is in a market where you need to have login access. But just so you know, Compass almost always has the listing agent's phone number if you can't find it anywhere else. Okay. And so all you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, Ashley, how's it going? My name's Brad. I'm a investor doing deals in Atlanta. I have a property under contract right now. Or if you don't, I have properties I'm about to put under contract that may be of interest to some of your buyers. It looks like you worked with so-and-so on the property at 884 Barnett Street. Was that a flip? Tell me a little bit about that deal. Okay, great. So it looks like you've done business with this buyer before, with this flipper before. I have a deal that is very similar to the one that they did. I was just curious if he's still buying deals and if they'd be interested. And then they're going to ask you, like, they're going to ask you about, what are they going to ask you about? Typically, they're either going to know it off the bat, in which case you want to work with this agent, or they're going to ask you a bunch of questions about who you are and what you do, and they're not interested or whatever. You just move on. Okay, but that's going to be how you find buyers. Nathan, when you're tight on time, but you want to be a bit broad in your marketing and make the most of your time, what should I focus on first? 2 markets. 1, should I hire somebody to do some marketing? Christian, I'm going to leave that one up to you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so the answer to that question is when you're tight on time, stick to one. Stick to one market, perfect it, follow along with the trainings for Privy. I would definitely go with the Privy on market offer system first because, I mean, I know Nathan personally, he's already spoken to agents in the past and he's negotiated deals on market, like MLS listings in San Diego. You just keep doing this, keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Privy is. I know that we have a really big discount when you use the affiliate link to sign up for, in the deal finding sessions for a full year. But I think it's like, we pay for it probably like less than $100 a month. So consider marketing budget for $100 a month to, if you have more time, going into Privy to look for deals like this and look for buyers. Okay. Both, and comp properties. Okay. So everything that you need is housed in there minus a CRM and a system to actually reach out to them if you want to have a phone system and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, the thing to do is focus on one thing first. If you try and focus on multiple markets and get to know multiple markets at the same time, can you do it? Sure. But I would say you're probably shooting yourself in the foot. So do that. And then as far as should I hire somebody to do marketing? You should always look to scale yourself out of any role that you're doing. So if you're the one doing marketing, let's just put it this way. Brad is a partner in the business, but it used to be just me, and then it was Chris and me, and then it was Chris and Brad and me. And I used to do the marketing, the cold calling, the acquisitions, the transaction coordination, the disposition, the everything. So I'm not saying, look at me, I'm at the top. I'm focused on other things that are benefiting all of us in the business, including a large portion of, as you guys know, the Real Estate Investing Made Easy. Let's talk about what we're doing, and let's talk about what has worked in the past and what continues to work. So that's scaling yourself out of that role. So at a point in time where you're ready, whether it is teaching and training a virtual assistant to get the bulk of this process that Brad is showing you done, do it. We're also coming out with a employee hiring system, virtual assistants edition. It's completely free. And I'm telling you, this course, and not to toot my own horn, it's just what's worked. The results are the things that make this so valuable, has provided us with the opportunity to grow and scale a very large team, and ultimately with the goal of expanding through different markets, expanding our investor network, and doing more transactions. And it is our exact process, who exactly to hire, and it's coming out. I'm literally scheduled to record this stuff today. I've already outlined it. And I got to say, branding wise, I kind of designed it, so I think it looks pretty good, but you be the judge of that when it comes out. Notwithstanding what it looks like, I'm telling you, this is going to be invaluable for you to understand how you can really inspire and train your team in a way that they're going to stick with you long term, and it's going to benefit your business. But you have to budget. Again, we talked about this, Nathan. You have to budget for 3 months of whatever you're doing. So if you're not doing launch control right away because you're not going to pay for the lists and all that, then skip trace the lists and then market. Then you're going to do something. Right? Do the on-market offer system. We have an on-market offer system, and I'll link that in the description below too.
Mhm.
It's what he's sharing. Again, the education is free. The tools and resources, what he said he thought was broken, that's one of the analyzers that you can actually buy. It's like $47.97 right now. It's ridiculous. And you get every single thing, or build it yourself. We don't care. We just want you to take action and get results, and then continue to feed back into these high-level questions so that we can continue to make real estate investing easy.
It wasn't broken. I was broken, guys. My brain was broken.
Well, we're all broken.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. Yeah, but that what comes with that, guys, and just so you know, is that the soft comp analyzer I was showing you, I went into the tab that has our deal analyzer, which I would then use once I've compiled the list of properties to comp. I would then use that to do a more in-depth analysis. And then what I would do is the other things that come with it are the LOI templates. There's 10 campaigns and follow-ups that come with those. That all comes with it as well, so that you can mail merge and mass email all the offers that you've done, because you should be doing this at scale, at volume, and that all comes with that for $47. It's best money ever spent. Yeah.
So that's part of the other process. For a property you want to make an offer on in Privy, where are you going from there? What's the next
Where
step?
am I going? Yeah, let me show you. So what I would do, let's go to the one I just went to.
So we just found a buyer. Great. Awesome. You say you talk to
Buyer.
Ashley,
Boom.
and we have a buyer.
Yep. So I'm going to go here. This is the property that we're going to sell her. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, it's 1,176 square feet, and it's a $265,000 ARV.
This is a worthy cause to be doing right now. Just so you know, he's about to send out an offer to this agent, and we could very well, in less than a couple weeks, have this under contract and be sharing a case study and make $10,000 right now.
All right, so let's see here. What do you think? Is this a light rehab? Is this a moderate rehab? Or is this a heavy rehab? Okay, you're probably wondering. Well, right, depends on the comps, but also, hey, guess what, guys? It'll tell you right here. Your light rehab's gonna be paint, flooring, cleaning, fixtures, light demo, and clean out, landscaping, upkeep. Okay, does that look like that? No. So there's a layout change that's not non-load bearing, exterior paint, minor wood. No. Okay. Or is it a kitchen and bath renovation, doors, garage doors, full demo and clean out, plus whatever we went in through the light and moderate? Yes. Now, here's the caveat to this, is that this dollar per square foot is going to be dictated by the market. Right. So you are going to know that. you're going to know what dollar per square foot.
Hold on.
Okay,
How are
but
you going to know that? Nathan says, if I don't know the market, I don't know the buyer. Your buyers will tell you that. And if they won't come out and tell you that, you'll get the information. You just have to ask, like, interesting. So I see you flipped a couple of these properties before. I saw that one on 123 Main Street and it looked really, really nice. It's like you went all out on that one. But I saw a couple other flips that were just, really beautiful cookie cutter, not in a negative way. I love them. How much are you spending on average per square foot for your flips? And depending on what market it is and what price point, right? Because then you can go to, median home values and then luxury. And then likely, especially because you're the one who's going to be feeding them some extra deals, they will tell you. And then that's how you find out what numbers to plug in there, column J, K, and L in that spreadsheet for the analyzer to know what's a normal cost per square foot for a full rehab, a light rehab, this and that. That's how you find out.
Yep, exactly. That's right. Talk to them. Got to have these conversations, guys. And so what did I put for just based off of, what did I say? 100? Look at that, guys. Here, it actually spits out a couple numbers for you. So you got your MAO, which is 106. Your initial offer, I'd call it 95. Okay.
Right.
But this tells you that your soft comp underwriting is good and you can actually go lower. So what I'd say is I'd go in here in the notes, I'd say 95. Okay, so that's the offer I'm going to initially send out, which means that if my dispo price works at 116 and I get an offer accepted at 95, if you do the math there, about 20K in an assignment.
Right. There you go.
All right. So from there, just so you guys know, right, we've done the deeper dive in more in-depth analysis. Okay. So once I've done all the comping and all of these properties that are in this folder are good, I'm going to go in here and this, once I have, all 20, 30, 50, whatever they are, I'm going to download this. I'm going to give it to, what I do is I give it to our VA. The VA finds all the realtor information. So I'm going to pop it over here into this list. Once I get the realtor info, I'm going to put it into our Mail Meteor spreadsheet, which basically says I have all the realtor names and numbers, what market they're in. And I do that every time because we will do click funnels and campaigns for the realtor. So I have probably, I don't know, a couple hundred realtor contact information. And so we're continually building that. But then I put it into my, let's say our privy offers here. Then I'm going to go into Mail Meteor and send out a campaign.
Why don't we do it? Let's do it. And then next time we go live, we're going to be saying, this is the 2981 grand that we closed on, and we showed you from a brand new market we've never been in.
Okay.
I mean, because at the end of the day,
I love it.
How long it takes. It doesn't take long.
Yeah.
And
no, it doesn't.
As you do that and get the info, I'll speak to Nathan's question. Why don't you stop sharing your screen as you get that stuff just quickly and then put it in there. So that, I'm here speaking to everybody, and I know we got 15 people on now. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're talking about the speed of implementation, the name of the game is speed when it comes to real estate investing. So this is on market. Another investor between now and tomorrow, when we might get to it, they're likely to do a similar analysis and then get it under contract at a price that we're going to offer. So we want to do this quickly. So when you look at the VA hiring system, right, when it comes out, this is what we're talking about. He said this process he's doing where he's getting the information is normally what we do with our team. And we don't call them VAs. We just call them employees. They are part of our team. Frankly, we treat or try to, as much as possible, our team like family and really care about what's going on in their life. But they're quick about it. They get it turned around. And then the next step of the process he's going to show you once we have the realtor's information is just an auto mail merge, and then it automatically sends out offers and it automatically follows up with them. It's kind of like an if this, then that. I don't know if you've ever heard of ifttt.com, but this one is like that, where Mail Meteor will just send out and follow up automatically. And then we have a KPI tracker, which by the way, also comes with that system we was talking about before, where we'll just continue to track how many offers we're putting out, how many deals we get accepted. And it's to scale, and it's something that's working, and it's not just working for us. It's working for a lot of other people, and it can work for you as well. So you can share your screen again and continue with this process. I would recommend that if this is new to you, if this is something that you haven't done, definitely consider putting this stuff into action. And if you've seen this before and you're not yet pulling the trigger to start doing this, this is one of the lowest costs for marketing every single month. And it's definitely a good strategy to include, even if you're doing off market. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily a supplement for it for the long term, but it can be. So my point is, if you're just getting started in real estate, this is the way to do it. Chris closes your deal. Our business partner was scared to get on the phone with real estate agents. When I met him, he had a lot of sales experience. He didn't have real estate investing experience. So he asked me, can you get on the phone and show me how to do it? And I had already kind of coached him in some of the real estate stuff. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I was like, you get on the phone and you will understand why you know everything that you need to know right now. You don't need to wait. As soon as he got on the phone, once he got off, he said, you're right. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because at that point he knew even more than that particular realtor that he was speaking to. Not to denigrate realtors. It's just to say that it's very easy to get your real estate license. And a lot of realtors will be like everyone else, right? It looks cool. It sounds great. I want to pursue it. But then life happens and they just don't pour into it enough. So they haven't reached a level of expertise really that you would expect, or the common public would expect, as I've been too. And I've been there, not thinking, oh, they don't know more than I know necessarily, but like, it's pretty shocking, right? How easy it is to get your license, how many real estate agents don't really know that much. It's just because it may not be their priority. And we've found that that's the reality. A lot of people, they're doing it on the side, and they got their license to help their cousin buy and sell a house because it would save them a lot of money and it made sense. That's okay. I will tell you, there's nothing wrong with that. Just be aware that you as an investor, even if you're just getting started, probably know a little bit more than the average agent. Back to you.
All right. So as you guys can see, let me just walk you through a couple. Let me back up here. So, you can see here, I make sure to keep the master list of the realtor information. And then I have the same date, I'll have the privy offers. Okay. So it's important that these headings match your variables, what are inside the little squiggly lines, whatever those are called. So
those are called bracers, by the way. I learned that. I had to Google it.
Bracers. All right. Love it. Okay. So I have this one just labeled all by itself. I've never just sent one. So it was like, oh, that's weird. But basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be creating a new campaign. You're going to, the way that you can add this, copy paste, CSV, contact list. I always do a Google Sheets. Just copy paste the URL, pick the sheet that you want. It'll have the recipient already there. And then what I do is, and these are available, like I said, these templates are available on the on-market offer system, but I do a follow-up if no reply after 2 days. That just pings them again. And then I do another one, no matter what, after 3 days, I have a kind of like a funny, seller finance or just like creative finance, ping follow-up. Okay. So before you send them, always check your preview, because if your variables aren't right, it's not going to load, but this one is, because I've got my name, I've got my purchase price, and I've got my address. So I know everything's working well and it's doing it on each one. Okay. So then from there, I'm just going to send the emails. All done.
You just made an offer on that property in a market that we have no idea about, that we've never done a deal before, that we don't know any buyers, that we're brand new to, and we'll see what happens. My guess is, this was only one, right? The whole point is volume. You need to have more volume, but it's very possible that this particular property becomes a deal. This 2891, is that what it is? Grand?
That's the one. And hey guys, just so you know, that's right. Hey, Compass, by the way, told you, all their information is always there. They do a great job of it. So if you can get, if you're looking for it, they always have it. But there you go. So now what I'll do is I'll take this and I'm going to add it to, I'm going to take it out of comp because I've already put an offer on it. Boom. That's it.
There you go.
Now, another thing too, guys, and a little pro tip is pendings. Okay. I'm checking pendings pretty much every day. Okay. And there you go. Sure enough, look at this one. It's green again. So you know what I'm doing? I'm going to my inbox. I'm searching this and I'm pinging this agent again, if not calling them to say, what's going on? 46th Street fell out of contract. Okay, back on the market. Am I seeing that right? Okay, great. What do we need to do to move forward with my offer?
Love it. Love it. And by the way, just so you know, everything by John said, yep, I'm about to close a deal on market next week, just working with an agent, land deal in North Carolina. Awesome, dude.
Let's go.
Love it.
Love it.
I'd
Yep.
love to hear more about that deal too. So he
The
said
key is finding buyers who
Yep.
don't care. That's right, man. They want to see how yeah. So that's such a great point. There was an agent I talked to in Jacksonville. I was like, hey, what kind of discount do the buyer? She's like, I have a ton of buyers. I'm like, well, what type of discount are they going to be looking for if it's a listed property? She's like, the buyers I work with are smart. They don't care. As long as the numbers make sense and it's a good deal, it doesn't matter. I'm like, cha-ching. Okay.
There you go.
You know, but it's just preference with the buyer. So you're absolutely right, John.
Is it not easier than it seemed? I mean, just to kind of place yourself from where you are now, go back in time and draw the comparison between how simple it is now versus from when you got started, for those people who are like, okay, yeah, this sounds great, I want to move forward, but I'm not sure. Like, when did it really click? State of mind, just speak to that.
Oh yeah. So the only difference between then and now is the time. And by that I mean, like, I had to put the time in to understand the system, learn how it's working, find a process that worked for us, that I could scale, that I could keep consistent, and then just act on it consistently. That was it. So when I first started working with Privy, I'm like, I didn't even know how to create a list. I didn't even know how to, you know what I mean? So it's just, you need to, I watched a lot of if not all, the Privy training videos. So I went on to Privy. I learned how the functionality of the system worked, what buttons did what. So watched all those, and then watched other people use Privy on Privy's channel. Then I just took what I liked and created our own system. So
Yeah. And I know
continuing your education.
We're shooting the breeze here about this stuff, and it's obviously taken longer to get to this point with, the training in the live environment, but you can for sure watch the Privy channel, which Benson is a great dude. Like, if I gotta say, man, one person in my phone that, like, I know I could call right now and he's gonna be like really happy to talk to me, and we're gonna have a great conversation. I know that Benson's the guy, and he is one of the owners and founders of Privy. So I can't recommend the software enough, but also the people in and behind the scenes. But he's also in front of the camera all the time. My point to this, though, is go watch that stuff. You can also get the bottom line distilled down to, like, just the things you need to know to take action. That's what we're talking about here. As Brad discusses, we refine the process. We made it just, we cut out all of the fat, and I hate to say it was fat, right? It's just nomenclature, right? It was just things that we could do without, and we distilled it down to a process because it was what worked for us. And it might not work for you and your flow. You should take our process and then adapt it to what works for you. And then just let us know what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, we can create something and use it, and it can be successful. And then somebody else can take what we're doing and then revamp it, and it can be even more successful. Well, guess what? We're Real Estate Investing Made Easy. So share what's making it easy for you, because that's what we're doing.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, Christian.
Awesome, man. Well, we are a lot
Too far over.
over than we intended to be, and I promised that I would talk about the affiliate marketing stuff, just as an aside for real estate investors, and I'm going to do that briefly, as long as you have some time, and if you don't, then feel free to jump off, and I'll close this out. What do you think, Brad? You got a minute?
I should. Let me just check my calendar here. I mean, I'm here for it, you know.
Okay.
Yep, I'm good.
So the reason
Let's do it.
why I'm answering this question, we're real estate investors, but when we talk about affiliate marketing, there's a number of ways in which you can supplement some of the ebbs, if there are any in your business, depending on what your niche is. And there are ways in which you can benefit other people in your space and regard your competition as some of your biggest assets. And part of it's through affiliate marketing. So what we do is we say we're agnostic to what you use. What we want is for you to use it and then be successful, and let's learn and grow together and make real estate investing easy. But we have systems we've built or refined, even if we didn't build them, that work really well. So one thing that we do to kind of supplement the time that I have away from actively investing, notwithstanding the fact that we've scaled a bit, and as I mentioned earlier in this live, that I was doing all the roles, wearing all the hats, and then I met these A players that we work with now as business partners and the staff that we've hired. That's flash forward. But if it's just you, or if you have a team, consider what's working for you. Everything has an affiliate program. So if you believe in it, I'm not advising you to try to get affiliate income by promoting something you don't believe in. Now, I've mentioned this as an example before. I don't see anything necessarily wrong with something like PropStream, but I don't use it a lot anymore. I used to. And sure, we have them as an affiliate, but I tell everybody the value that I find there are with the water leads or the water shutoffs. Everything else, I feel there's better data in Property Radar, and Property Radar doesn't have an affiliate program, but I'm going to promote them regardless, because it's not about making money off an affiliate. It's about sharing what works or believe that works and really trust in that process. So that's what we're doing. There's also PropStream, or sorry, everything, PropWire, I should say.
Yeah.
They have free data, and now they have skip tracing included. An example of that is, Jerry Norton, I was chatting with him on a comment or whatever, and he had mentioned that there is an affiliate program coming. But before I ever knew there was an affiliate program coming, there wasn't one. And I don't think there is today. I was like, I don't know if you guys have seen this, like legit. The day I saw it, I dove into it. I spent hours in it. And then I recorded a video and I'm like, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but like you can get 50,000 records for free. And then he corrected me and said it's 250,000. That's just what the terms of use said. He said, I have to update the terms of use. But my point is, now they've come out with skip tracing, and now people have asked, and this was one question we didn't get to. I see that PropWire now has skip tracing, but you're always talking about Best Skip Tracer, and you believe in that, and you talk about they're your affiliates, and we get a discount if we sign up. Which one should we use? And then after using it and seeing the results, I said, use both in different scenarios. So notwithstanding getting into the details about why right now in this video, I just wanted to share it with you, that is to say that you can supplement some of what you're doing and even pay for some of your marketing expenses by just speaking about with other investors in and outside of your network, things that are working for you really well. You're going to be benefiting them by sharing with them something that's going to make them a lot of money. And it doesn't cost anything else. Like if you're an affiliate of something and you point me to it, and I don't know you're an affiliate, I'm going to say, look, if you have an affiliate link, send it to me because I want to sign up under you. Because I want you to get that $2 a month or whatever the heck that chump change is. Multiply that by as many people as you refer, and it can be kind of substantial. So, we're not titans in the affiliate marketing space. I know that there's people who that's all they do is affiliate marketing, which is huge. But as long as they're within integrity and they're promoting things, services, platforms for software, for marketing or otherwise that are working in their business, sign me up. Right. That's my belief anyway. And I think that, as far as the answer to the question, how do I get started in affiliate marketing and benefit, my real estate business and doing that? That's how to do it. And I don't know if I stated the question before, but that's what the question was. And, it doesn't really matter if people are promoting it. Like, you won't search PropStream and see us come up about it because we're just not promoting content about it anymore. Right. And it's because of a belief. And the belief is just, I see this working better. But if you search Property Radar, we will come up on Google and YouTube and stuff because we're talking about it, because it works for us. And if it didn't work for us, you can bet that we're not going to be talking about it. So that's hopefully that answered your question, and hopefully that made some sense. It also gave some insight, because I saw a comment that said, like, well, how objective can a review be if there's an affiliate link? Pretty dang objective, as it turns out, for all the reasons I just explained. I want to be able to supplement my activity. And, if you sign up under the affiliate link that we have, we're going to get 10%, 15 sometimes. Doesn't cost you anything else, and you get a discount. So it's just being within integrity to make sure that, what you're promoting is something you believe in and you can stand by. And that's all that I got to say about that. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. We've gone over way longer than
Yes.
we do. But
Yeah,
I think
it's worth it though.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. So be sure to check out the trainings for the on-market offer system that we have. Brad has done all of them. We also have the literally the on-market offer system, where it shows how we do this in general, whether you're using Privy or whether say you don't have $97 a month or $100 a month to pay for Privy. Start out using Zillow. You could literally do this using Zillow for sale by owners or for listed properties, or Redfin or Trulia or whatever you want to, Realtor.com. And get in there, start making offers. Mail Meteor, I think, how much is that every single month?
Oh man. Like 15 or $20, something like that.
$20 a month. Now we don't have an affiliate to Mail Meteor either.
No,
and there's competitors that do the same thing that actually have affiliate links, where it's like, oh, you can make a couple bucks or whatever. It doesn't matter. Use what works. If you're using something other than Mail Meteor, just use what works. Take the action that's required to get the result that you're really desiring. And you can do that. So pour into those trainings, ask questions, comment, give us some feedback, and we'll together continue to make real estate investing easy. You guys have a good one.